Hi, good afternoon. I wanted to show you a quick demo so you can actually see what the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud looks like. What I'm going to show you in this demo, I'm going to highlight three areas. I'm first going to show you how quick and easy it is to provision a new database from zero, and so you can see what an autonomous database really looks like from a provisioning standpoint. And then I'm going to talk about the scalability and the elasticity of it. We'll show you how easy and quick it is to scale. And then finally, I'm going to show you how you integrate this service with Oracle Analytics Cloud, which is what business users would actually use. That's how they would interact with the data warehouse. So let's start here. We're going to start. I'm going to go to cloud.oracle.com. And I'm going to sign in to my cloud account. So as a product manager, I have my Autonomous Data Warehouse for PM account. And I will log in. And this is exactly what a customer is going to be seeing the first time they come in to their Oracle Cloud account. You're going to be coming into the cloud dashboard where you're going to see a set of products. And you can choose which products you want to use. We're going to be looking at the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud. I'm going to open the Service Console. So right now, I don't have any databases created. I don't have any data warehouses. I have the option here. I can look at a tutorial. I can look at some instructions. We're just going to step ahead to create a new database. And so I'm going to create an example database. And when you look at this screen, I only have to do 4 things to create a database. I'm typing the database name, I'm typing a number of CPUs, and I'm typing the storage capacity, and then the administrator password. Now, we should pause for a second and think about this, because sometimes when you see something, if you look at this, you say, okay, that makes sense. You've got to name the database. And we need to say the size of the database we're creating. And all this is very logical. This is what you would need to do when you create a new data warehouse. But when you see something simple sometimes, you don't realize all the things that are happening under the cover. There are a lot of decisions and a lot of complexity that's being done for you by the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud. There's no questions here about what type of hardware we should use. There's no question about, do we want to use spinning disk or flash drives. There's nothing about how do you want to configure your backup. There's nothing about how do you set up the database. What's the, for those of you who use Oracle a lot or a DBA, what's your init.aura for this database? What's your initialization parameters? You don't have to make any of these decisions because this is what an autonomous database is. Oracle is choosing an optimal database configuration for data warehousing. This is what we built. This is the intelligence that we built into our cloud with the autonomous database. So now I'm going to quickly confirm my settings and create the database. You can see we started to create the service here. And what we're doing is we're going off and we are provisioning a new database, a new data warehouse. And this is going to be an enterprise-ready database. We're provisioning this with all the proper setup for security. It's going to be fully encrypted. The system is a highly available infrastructure. It has clustered database technology and redundant storage. We're provisioning this on top of Exadata for high performance. So we're really assembling all the components together to build a true enterprise database for enterprise deployments. Right? So when we look here, if I refresh the screen, we're going to say it's still creating. Perfection takes time sometimes, right? We need to make sure we get everything exactly right. And when this comes back, we're going to have a database that's ready for you to load data, ready for you to run queries right away off the bat. So we can see it's created now. And I want you to think about that as well, right? Because we created this database in probably about 60 seconds, about 40 to 60 seconds. It would take the same length of time if we created a database that was 40 CPUs instead of 4 CPUs. What Oracle's really built here is a true database cloud. We're provisioning new databases at the speed that other clouds might provision a VM. And we're provisioning databases that are fully enterprise ready and able to go. So if we look at this console, we can see that we can manage various aspects of the database. We can start the service, stop the service. We could scale the database up and down. So we've quickly seen how we provision a new database, how we create a database. Now I want to turn and talk about how the business user would use the database. So we're going to look at Oracle Analytics Cloud. So we're going to start with the sort of homepage of Oracle Analytics Cloud. Oracle Analytics Cloud is a comprehensive set of tools for enterprise business intelligence and self-service analytics. This is the type of tool that the actual business analyst would use to access the data in Oracle's autonomous data warehouse. So this is another cloud service that's part of Oracle's platform as a service family of products. And what I've done here is I've actually gone on and created a project already specifically to show you how you can use OAC against the Oracle database. So we're going to sit and select this project down here. And we're going to come in, and first of all, we're going to start and just briefly look at the data that we have in the database. I'm not showing you data loading right now in this demonstration, but what we are going to do is we're going to run queries against the sample schema that's already built into this database. So the database I just created, you could go in and run these queries and these dashboards right now. And you can see that we have a schema that has actually quite a bit of data. It has the largest table has 6 billion rows. You can see some of the data characteristics that we have in here. Just simple data distribution. It's tracking sales across multiple industries and across multiple geographies. And so here we have a very simple visualization. We look at product by product brand and regions. So this is the type of analysis that a business user might see. And I've added a couple other technical things on this screen just for the purposes to show you how Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud works. You can see the SQL that's actually going to the database. And I pre-populated this report. And we can see that when we went to this database and ran with 4 CPUs, populating this report took about 33 seconds. Now keep in mind that this was over 6 billion rows. And so 33 seconds was pretty good performance. But if you look down here in the lower right, we've actually built a custom visualization. And it's set it up so that you can scale the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud database. There's a couple of ways you can scale the database. One way is using the service console that you just saw. But you can also scale the database using a REST API. And that's what we're doing here. Oracle Analytics Cloud is going to call a REST API. So we could see we could scale to sort of any number of CPUs that we would want to be scaling to. We could scale up. In this case, we just set the slider bar to 128, but you could scale up to even larger number of CPUs. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to scale the database to 16. Right? And so we're going to scale this database up to 16 CPUs. Now, this occurs fully online and without any interruption of the users who are running on the system today. And this is a big deal. This is very different than how other databases work. And this is really the instantiation of very sophisticated database technology. So we are sizing this system up from 4 to 16 CPUs. Anyone who's on this data warehouse running queries, their queries continue to run uninterrupted. All the workloads continue to run. And what's going to happen now, as I submit a new query, now that I've resized the database, I'm going to refresh the data. Now the new query is going to be running with a larger amount of resources. Now instead of 4 CPUs, it's going to be running with 16 CPUs. And we could see that this query took about 8 seconds to run. And so just by scaling up from 4 to 16 CPUs, you have your hands on the performance of the system. The way that you're going to increase performance is by scaling CPUs. You can do it any time. And as Larry mentioned earlier, right, your workload increases, end of a quarter processing, increase the number of CPUs. Your workload goes down, you can decrease the number of CPUs. This elasticity enables you to save money. So now we're going to turn to and look at a more typical sort of screen that a business analyst might want to see. We have 4 visualizations here. We can see we have a map visualization, a donut chart, and all of these are fully interactive. So we highlight sections of the map, highlight a quadrant of the donut chart, and we see the map being highlighted. We can go in and we can add new types of analytics on these charts as well. For example, in this bar chart, if I right-click, I can specify that I want to add a trend line. And we can dynamically add this type of result onto the onto this graph. Again, you can see that you're able to choose subsets of data, potentially drill into the data. And these are the type of things that business users are going to be doing. And all of this is running against our very large data set. So I wanted to show you one other very quick example of using Oracle Analytics Cloud. You can see that you might have a variety of projects and data sets. But I wanted to talk about a pretty nifty feature, whereas suppose you just start typing in your query. You say, I want to look at sales by product, and then I want to look at the profit by customer segment. So you're just typing in an English query. Oracle Analytics Cloud is going to recommend visualizations based upon your query. You can choose visualizations. These are fully interactive, just as before. So you could choose a subset of data right here, look at the graph. And so you get the feel for how business users would use it. So I wanted to show you one last thing before we leave this demo. We're going to come back and look at our original visualization. And let's suppose that we are done using our database for today. Let's suppose that we're going to not be using this data warehouse till tomorrow morning. Well, the elasticity of our system enables us to shut down our CPUs. We could shut off the CPUs, shut the CPUs to 0. And what happens here is now you're not paying for the CPUs. You continue to pay for your storage of your database, but you save money by not having to pay for your CPUs. So what I've done in this quick demo is I tried to highlight are really 3 quick things. First, I've shown how the autonomous data warehouse cloud is autonomous. I've shown how easy it is to provision and create a new data warehouse, how users don't need to know all the details and underpinnings of the system in order to create this data warehouse. I wasn't able to show it here, but users don't have to do anything for ongoing maintenance. They don't have to do backups of the database. They don't have to gather statistics. So all of these continuous online operational aspects are completely autonomous with this service. Second, I've shown the elasticity. I've shown how you can increase and decrease the CPUs to get the performance and scalability that you need. And I've shown how you can shut the CPUs off to save money. Elasticity enables you to pay for exactly what you want to use. And because Oracle's elasticity is fully online, you can change it any time. You can really maximize your cost savings. And then third, I've shown how this is integrated with all other Oracle Cloud services. We saw some visualizations with Oracle Analytics Cloud. So we're really excited about this new product. It has a lot of revolutionary new cloud capabilities. And we really think this represents the next generation of databases with our autonomous database family. Thank you.